Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 9th of February. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Gary, an exciting week about to commence because this is the first week in the run-up to our first weekend of auctions.
Well, the siren's been sounded, Philip.
Are you primed?
And we're ready to go.
Yeah, are you ready?
I am.
Because I'm not doing a single auction this weekend.
I've got Sunday. I'm doing 5 in a row, Phil. That'll test me. I don't mind saying, but I'm good for it. I've watched you do 5 in a row. I think it's the first time I've done 5 on a day, but I'm up for it, Phil.
I think you should have an early night Saturday night.
That's
Gary.
just not going to happen.
Tuck yourself up early. Big breakfast.
I think I'll perform better if I have no sleep at all. Actually, I'll just keep on going.
That's a typical Saturday night for you, Gary. I'm not working this weekend because I've got my nephew's birthday.
You have indeed.
Shout out to Josh and Danny who are getting married this weekend.
Congratulations to them. I'll see you there a bit later, but I'm missing, unfortunately, I'm missing the ceremony, but I'll be there for cocktails, Phil.
Yep.
And
Perfect timing.
I probably won't be that conversational because I will have used my voice for 5, don't feel guilty, 5 auctions, Phil. On Sunday, we've got 3 on Saturday. We're going to review them shortly. Some real estate in the news, Philip. So talking a little bit about what's going on in the train. I've been called today by The Age. Tell us about the train. This train's going to be elevated. It's going to be like a monorail. It's going to be Disneyland. It's going to be Chicago. It's going to be good. It's going to be bad.
Viewers, what he's talking about is that the Andrews government is talking about in order to fund the crossings.
Have we got a photo of you and Mr. Daniel Andrews? We should put that up on the screen.
Put it up.
If we've got it, it'll go up.
Nothing to do with what we're talking about now, but the Cranbourne-Pakenham line, they're talking through Carnegie and Murrumbeena about putting it up Chicago style in the air. And the local residents are going somewhat ballistic, as you would probably appreciate if you've got used to a train, you know, rattling.
But they've always had the train behind them, haven't they? I suppose, on one hand.
But if you're used to that and the status quo, let's face it, as animals, as human beings, we like the status quo, whether the status quo is good or bad.
But all that parkland they're advertising, they're saying there's going to be parkland, be kilometres of parkland. There'll be this like cricket pitch that goes like, you know, you can just hit it straight down the middle all the way from suburb to suburb, Phil. It's a long, big parkland.
Do you know what? Whether this gets up or not, figuratively speaking, who knows? But there's a little bit of local news on a more metropolitan view and news, Gary. Big news on underquoting in the newspaper. It was in the newspaper on the weekend, and the newspaper today.
And a state agent is getting taken to court for underquoting, Philip. And in my opinion, Philip, if you have got instructions to sell a property and you've appraised it at, say, $1 million to $1.1 million on your authority, and you are quoting 800 plus, that is a serious
so
that's
the technical answer. That's it in its purest form. When we have an authority on a property, if we quote the property for $1 less or even 50 cents less than what is on that authority, then that is deemed as technical underquoting.
If that's what this agent's done.
Having said that, I don't think the public really, that's their view of underquoting.
No, it's not. The public's view is not underquoting. And
what's the public's view?
Well, I think the public thinks we've quoted 8 to 900 and it sold for 1,050,000. You know, that's an underquote.
But so that's what the public thinks?
Well, I think that's what the uneducated public think, without any disrespect. I think that's what people who don't quite understand the dynamics necessarily of auctions. And the reality is that every vendor who has an auction wants the highest price they can get. I defy a vendor to come out and say, I do not want the highest price I can get. Every vendor wants that, Philip. Every vendor has a dream price that they'd like to achieve in excess, and our job is to try to achieve that for them, quite frankly. But one thing I can say that we do, and if you're looking at our auctions, and I can give you this absolute assurance that we never will quote less than what's on your authority.
Of course not.
That's the first thing.
Just silly.
And secondly, we ask our vendors to give us an indication of what they'll consider at the auction. And then we will put that in writing, Philip. But sometimes vendors will change their mind.
Absolutely.
I mean, how do you stop? I mean, how do you stop it? I mean, we're at a beautiful place here, but any place. How do you stop a vendor going out the day before their auction, seeing a place like theirs sell for 100,000 more than they thought, and then rocking up on the day of the auction and saying to us, well, that just sold for $100,000 more than any of us thought. I'd like to get $100,000 more. And how do you stop that happening?
Well, there's another side.
I don't know any answer to that.
There's another side.
Can you answer it or not? Answer questions.
If you'd let me. So the other thing that happens to us sometimes is that a vendor says, look, I want $1.1 million. And our quote range might be 1 to 1.1. So, you know, it's an accurate reflection of the vendor's zone. They go out into the marketplace because they're selling in order to buy. And they go out into the marketplace, and over the 4 weeks of the campaign, they're intensely looking at everything on the market, and they come to the conclusion that actually what they want to buy is going to cost them more money than what they thought. So they come back to us might be a couple of days before the auction or a week or two, and they say, you know what, I was going to sell for 1.1, but if I sell for 1.1, I can't actually buy what I want, so now I want 1.2. Now, whether they get it or not, it remains to be seen, but a vendor has the ability to change their mind at all times.
They're right, isn't it?
Do you know what I think the public dislikes, though? They don't like agents that say, we're quoting, let's say they were quoting 1 to 1.1, right? The public comes through, the quote's 1 to 1.1, and then on auction day, the bidding gets to 1.2 million, and the agent says, well, we're now going to pass the property in, and the reserve's 1.3.
And fair enough too.
That, I think, the public has got every reason
to be angry about
agents' performance.
Well, I can say this, Phil, as a policy statement, we try to give an accurate or reasonable indication of where we expect buyer interest. We don't know where properties are going to go, and this is the other thing. I've spoken to that many people, professional people, and they go, well, you know, and the reality is, we don't always know. We don't always know what an unknown person is going to pay or not pay for a property on a given day. We only know what the other properties that have some bearing resemblance have sold for. We put those up as evidence. We think that's fair and reasonable and professional to do that. So we don't always know. We're always on the firing line.
And keep in mind that viewers, that certainly in a strong market, prices can get distorted.
Absolutely.
I mean, we can have something that we can say, well, the last 4 have sold for this price. But on a given day, 2 people rock up to the auction. They want it for whatever reason.
They go
One
nuts.
might live round the corner, or they just got a pay rise,
sick of missing or
sold
whatever.
some shares, and they end up paying 10% more or 15% more.
And then we're accused of
and they're happy about it.
Absolutely.
So it's not a science. This, you can't. Every sale is not always the same, but we do try to ensure that our vendors will sell within the area that we're quoting to the marketplace.
The other thing that we are very clear about is that buyers that we deal with, and we're happy to have buyer feedback, by the way, like to have some figure, Philip, in the paper. And what's happened in some areas, and I know there's a very big group in Queensland that do not quote any figures. They don't put any price in anywhere.
It is
and
so
it's one of the major
infuriating.
agents, probably the biggest chain in Australia, and they will not give a figure. And to me, I've spoken to these guys, I said, why don't you give a figure? And they're so scared of being nailed, and gun shy of being pinned, that so people who are looking for 500 coming through $2 million properties, and people looking for 2 million or 1 million coming through 300,000 or whatever, and there's just this incredible waste of time. So that is I don't know if people are complaining. So we understand that the buying public prefer something, between 8 and 900.
What's the first question a buyer asks us when they either ring us?
So the problem is that the difficulty is, and I'm not certain of defending the agent.
You going to answer the question?
No, I'm not going to, because you didn't before. But the difficulty is that and I'm not defending the agent, because if they've gone and quoted a property less, for less than what's on the authority, I can't defend them.
Stupid
if they've done that. But maybe they didn't do that. But at the end of the day, I still believe price guides are better than no price guides.
No question, Gary. I think that's enough. We've done this issue. Let's move on, Gary.
Let's move on, Philip. Let's talk about where we are before we get into the listings, because we are here in Gardenvale Road, Philip, number 42B Gardenvale Road. Now, I have the auction honours of this property, Philip. It's going up on Sunday morning at 11:30 a.m. Take us through this beautiful home, will you,
Gary,
please?
We sell a lot of town residences, but this is one of the best I've seen in years. It's like it's new. It's as new condition. I'm struggling with that this morning. But if you think about it, there's so much on offer. Firstly, it's a north facing. North facing is the best orientation in Melbourne, which means this kitchen meals family room overlooks, if we look through our cameraman, we look onto the deck and the north facing back garden. 4 magnificent bedrooms, 2 fabulous bathrooms, powder room downstairs, 2 living areas, Gary. One that's currently set up as a dining room, but could be a sitting room. And then, of course, this kitchen meals family room. This is the perfect product of its type. I love it. And you'll have fun here this coming weekend.
And you don't get to auction it, because I do. Sunday at 11:30 a.m.
I'm sorry, I'm not doing this
our
one.
feature property this week on GPTV. And Phil, how good is this part of the world now? I mean, there's cafe. Martin Street is thumping and happening. The station's not far away. The tram's over that way. The public transport's
Park. You've got the cafes. You've got a gym.
You have.
This is a really happening area.
Absolutely. That's a bit of a wrap for this home. Let's talk about some of the others that we have on offer this weekend. Phil, let's talk about them all.
Let's wrap up the weekend, shall we, Gary?
Indeed. Saturday morning, Philip Leor Samuel commences the first auction for the year. This one is in Rosstown Road. Carnegie, tell us about it.
Gary, a lovely apartment, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, beautifully renovated throughout, and Carnegie is on fire.
Very affordable.
Walking distance to Koonang Road.
$340 to $380 for a 2 bedroom is good value, isn't it, Phil? Nearham Road. I'm auctioning this one with Leon, one of 5 auctions Leon and I are doing together this weekend. This is a great property on Nearham Road, 65.
Gary,
tell us about
classic family home, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, off-street car parking, some beautiful period features, and what a lovely looking house to look at from the front, let alone when you make your way through it inside.
Leor's back in his Carnegie area, Philip, Ormond this time, and he's in Ormond Road, Ormond. Take us through this terrific property.
Gary, another opportunity to buy a 1-bedroom apartment. We love 1-bedroom apartments. They're a great entry into the market. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, polished timber floorboards. It's light, it's bright, it's beautiful, which is much like you, Gary.
Thanks, Philip. Is it possible to buy a 2-bedroom apartment in Caulfield North for around $400,000, Philip?
Well, you wouldn't have thought so, Gary, but
maybe.
up at 698 Inkerman, we have a 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, beautifully renovated, parquetry floors. Great location there, Gary, in the heart of Caulfield North.
Good block, good floor plan, good value, Philip. Gardenvale Road's at 11:30. We've talked about that. Looking forward to seeing you here, viewers, because this is an outstanding property. And then we're off to Bamborough Road. This has been very popular, Philip.
And so it should be, Gary, because it's well located near Princess Park. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, off-street car parking for a couple of cars. Great floor plan there. Move straight into that one, Gary. You could further improve it if you like, but the reality is getting these single-fronted houses is becoming harder and harder. The prices seem to keep going up constantly.
Oui, oui, monsieur. And there's a reason that I'm breaking out in the French, Philip. You know what it is, don't you?
Oh, that's right. I get it now, Gary, because you must be referring to the Paris end of Alma Road. That's high on the hill, the Paris end. And ladies and gentlemen, viewers, think about the Paris end of Alma Road. That is a real estate expression. Yep. It's nowhere near Paris. It doesn't look like Paris. It's the most ridiculous thing to say.
There's no view of the scene from there,
but we've long regarded it as the Paris end.
Anyway.
2 or 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, polished timber floorboards, beautifully renovated throughout. And you can walk to the shops in Glenferrie Road and the Malvern Station.
We wrap up at 2:30, Philip. The wedding would have started by then. You'll be really enjoying, but I'll be working, Phil. 2:30 in Inkerman Road.
As you should be, Gary.
Terrific apartment.
The wheels of commerce must continue to spin.
They do, Phil. They don't stop. 12 at 614 Inkerman Road. Take us through this one.
Well, again, Gary, look how good polished timber floorboards are in an apartment. Viewers, if you're thinking about updating an apartment, polished timber floorboards always look terrific, as they do here. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, and again, a great opportunity into the heart of Caulfield North.
Philip, a couple of exciting offerings I want to talk about. Firstly, we have the best house, probably, as far as I know, that's ever been offered in Caulfield South. Have a look at this exciting home in Burindi Road. It's on your screen now, Philip. We have got this one coming up. It hasn't officially started yet, but we are offering an exclusive to GPTV viewers. If you want to see through it, come to our preview VIP cocktail party this Wednesday, Philip. It's at 6 o'clock, is that right?
Gary, we're serving some French champagne, which is just beautiful.
Was attained at the Paris end of Alma Road?
Between 6 and 7 o'clock. Come along and have a look at this on Wednesday evening. It is an incredible house, Gary. Is it a house? Is it an estate? Is it a lifestyle? Or is it just Club Med Caulfield South? This house is just incredible.
So this is a very important announcement of this offering. Viewers, please come and have a look at it. We will shoot GPTV from there in the coming weeks, but if you're wanting to come, please register with Natalie. Her details are on the screen right now. Just pre-register, and we'll look forward to seeing you there at the wonderful cocktail party.
Come and have a drink with us.
Now, Phil, we've got something else very exciting to talk about, another historical offering, and this is probably the most exciting block of land that I've seen come to the market for a while.
An exciting block of land.
Phil, we're talking about Seymour Road. Now, tell us about that.
That is an exciting block of land,
That
Gary.
is that not a phenomenal parcel?
The most incredible corner location, corner Seymour and Blanche. Walking distance to the Harleston Park. Seymour, as you well know, is one of the best streets in Elstonwick.
Juicy Elstonwick.
Huge block. Think about the size there with a frontage to Blanche and Seymour, complete with 44 one-bedroom apartments and an old Victorian house that's also been converted. Great opportunity to buy that, put it into the super portfolio.
What's the method of sale there, Philip? Phillips?
Expressions of interest.
Thank you.
Details are up on screen as we speak, but incredible property, Gary.
Very exciting,
Phil. Very lucky to have that property, aren't we?
We are indeed. We're blessed, Phil. Blessed indeed.
Blessed.
And we are looking forward to bringing that one to the market. It's on now, isn't it?
It is.
And you're the man to speak to about it. So the weekend, that's it. The weekend starts, the auction start. This is it. We're here. This is real
Good luck
estate,
this
Phil.
weekend, Gary. I'll
Thank
be
you, Phil.
judging you, doing 5 on Sunday. I'm looking for 5 out of 5 from you.
I'm hoping so.
So hopefully you'll show up to the wedding and high-five me and say, clean sweep. No pressure now.
I'm hoping so. And what do we think about the market? What were the numbers of people like out in the weekend?
Once again, good numbers through the open for inspection. That is the litmus test. Until we have our first weekend of auctions, we'll talk more about the success of the market next week, Gary, where we will actually have an accurate barometer as to what's going on. Having said that, Sydney and Melbourne, last weekend, 72% clearance, admittedly from low numbers,
low volume.
but that's already a good sign of clearance both in Sydney and Melbourne.
So stay tuned, market lovers, because we will let you know what's going on in the market next week as we bring you GPTV. In the meantime, we hope to see you at our special viewing at Barindi Road, or at our auctions or opens or our office, or anywhere out and about in the community. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm
Thanks
Philip
for
Kingston.
tuning in.
Have a great week.
Bye now.